All right, everybody, the action is now live. I'm a little behind, so bear with me as we get recording. Roman Reigns and main event Jey Uso, who have had their differences in the past. But it's crazy how everything can change. Roman Reigns has evolved, much like Jey. I'm going to try and speed this up a little bit. Jey Uso going to get an encore. I think Jey is trying to get Roman. Meanwhile, we're getting an encore, a yeeting encore here in East Rutherford, New Jersey at MetLife Stadium. Wait. Meanwhile, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker not wasting any time, going after Roman, but Jey Uso flies. And Reed and Breaker get taken out on the outside on the floor. Let's get another look at this. Soaring through the sky. And what a hot start to this matchup. Meanwhile, Breaker and Reed, who brought the fight to Jey and Roman off the start. You just saw Reed throw Roman into those steel steps. This is not what you want. You never want to let the dog pick up any kind of speed with those ropes. 23 miles per hour at least. Braun Breaker, who is taking control of this matchup as he drives Jey into the corner, making the tag to Big Bronson Reed. You've got an unpredictable badass in Braun Breaker and Big Bronson Reed. Oh my God! Look at the way he just decked Roman in the skull. You just do a running flying headbutt. And it's Bronson Reed. Let's get another look at this. I gotta see this again. Look at the way he launched himself. Absolutely astonishing. A cataclysmic shot. And Seth Rollins, who is currently dealing with an knee injury, made one of the best decisions when he and Paul Heyman teamed up and then brought these two badasses and have these two badass heavy hitters together. I mean, the future of this industry with Reed and Breaker on the same side is not looking good for the rest. And Jey able to kick out. Let's not forget that Jey Uso and Braun Breaker have had their issues in the past. over the Intercontinental Championship at one point. It was Jay who won his first singles championship, beating the Unpredictable Badass. That would be that Braun Breaker would go on to win it back. Meanwhile, it's Breaker arguing with Roman, who's out on the apron. And the tag has been made. And talk about feeling yourself as the future and trying to become the present. Breaker getting in the face of Roman, who has more WrestleMania main events than anybody. I mean, Roman has done something that not even the legendary late great Hulk Hogan has done. I mean, this is the first time we're seeing Roman Reigns truly in the ring. Roman Reigns. I mean, it takes a lot when you get backstabbed like that by somebody you trust. It's very hard to find someone you trust in this world. And when you do, it hurts when they break that trust. It's almost unforgivable. In fact, not almost, it is unforgivable. Meanwhile, in the ring right now, Jay is being absolutely isolated and brutalized. Unique offense there. An epic heavy hitter splash. That was like an unpredictable half tsunami of some sorts. An unpredictable splash. And the mockery from Braun Breaker as he stares into the face of Roman Reigns. Breaker, an intelligent young man inside the ring. Say what you want about his attitude. There's no doubting his skills. His athleticism is second to none. I mean, he truly is a Steiner to the max and beyond. And the knees. Jay got gut checked, but Jay able to kick out before the 3. Let's get another look at this one more time as Jay, who got gut checked by Braun Breaker. Since the get-go of this match, it's really been tough for Jay and Roman to get any momentum. And that's really where Breaker and Reed were going when they hot-shotted this one. Catch your opponent off guard. It changes the mentality of it. Because you go into a match, oh no, not this. Look at the leap. But the problem is nobody's home. And Breaker knee first into the table. And Jay, who needs to muster up the power, muster up enough strength. Can he make the tag? Dragging himself into the ring towards a fresh Roman Reigns. Oh, Jay ducking. And Jay's got the opportunity. Oh. And in unison. And Breaker able to intercept Jay. Just as Reed able to intercept Roman. How much more can Jey Uso handle? Jay has been the one who's taken most of the beatdown since the get-go. And it's Reed, a 300-plus pounder, the Oscilla. Oh no. Bronson Reed has main event Jey Uso right where he wants him. This could be nearing the end. Has Jey up on his shoulders. Meanwhile, Jey, who's always been a man to show heart, ducks through. Snap CDT. Dropping. Reed on the skull. Meanwhile, Roman is back up, and you see the fiery look in his eyes. You see the worried look in the eyes of Breakker. Roman, the OTC wants in, and he wants in bad. Jey, who's starting to come to his senses, can he get there? And he does! The OTC enters the match. And now Roman Reigns finally gets his hands on Breakker after Reed makes the tag. And Reigns, high to low, clothesline, taking out Breakker. And now Roman has Breakker caught up in the corner, right where he wants him. Oh, what a back elbow. Stopping him the momentum temporarily. Oh, Roman, perhaps looking for a Uranagi of some sort. What could be going on in the mind of Roman Reigns right now? He's thinking something, but it's hard to say what. Oh my, no! He's gonna soar, and he's gonna score! Roman Reigns takes out Breakker, takes out Reed, takes control of this match. Let's get another look at this in slow motion. Roman Reigns clipping and almost nearly cleared his opponents. That's just the athleticism of Roman. And that Uranagi that he was looking for earlier that got blocked. This time it connects. And Reigns has Breakker right where he wants him. Cocked and loaded. First it's Reed. Superman punch. But wait. Breakker had a handful of the tights there. Rather those pants. Uh-oh. Breakker's calling a shot. He's about to crush Roman. The straps come down. The tag's been made. Superman punch with extra velocity. But does Roman know that the tag has been made? And like a bulldozer ramming through the tribal chief. And now it's Bronson Reed who calls a close. Bronson Reed measuring up the OTC. Does he have it all? And a splash to Roman Reigns. This time it's Reed who doesn't see the tag to Roman. Boom! What an uppercut. Jey back into the fray to save the day. And an enziguri in the corner. Oh my God. Just ramming through Jey like a Mack truck. Death Valley Driver. Is it enough to put Jey away? But Jey able to kick out before 3. It's that heart. It's that willpower, that grit that lives inside Jey Uso. That same grit that has won Jey the Intercontinental Championship twice. The same grit that has won Jey Uso the World Championship by defeating Gunther at WrestleMania. It's that same grit that has allowed Jay to prove all the haters wrong. Oh no. Reed! I'll talk about a tsunami suicide dive. That was massive. Oh my God. Oh my God. What could... Braun Breaker. Oh! And launching himself at Roman Reigns as they go over the announce desk. And Breaker and Reed are in control. Can Roman and Jay stop these two? We've seen some flurries from Jay and Roman, but the unpredictable badass and the Auszilla have proven strong and proven almighty. Reed has Jay up. What could be going on? Leaping over. And isn't it? Paying homage to the OG dog himself, Rick Steiner, the father of Braun Breaker. And let's get a look at this massive showing of athleticism. Went for the cover, but Jay continues to show signs of life. What's next in the plans of these two behemoths? Roman and Jay have been clobbered and brutalized, victimized. All the way across the ring. He goes around the world. It's Fala Lala Nope as he gets Superman punched. And it's Roman with a spear to Breaker through the barricade. Roman Reigns has sacrificed himself for the greater good. And now it's Reed who gets Jay back into the ring. And they are the "This is awesome" chants you can hear. Oh no. An earth-shattering tsunami could send shockwaves to the Hudson, but instead a Superman punch blows away Bronson Reed. One to the sky. 1D. Could it be one and done? The Usos use this move. Oh my. But Breaker, where did Breaker even come from? Did you just get barricaded? Did you just get speared through the barricade? I swear, Braun Breaker is built on a different level. To survive something like that, here's the Superman punch from Roman Reigns. You can see the look of Bronson Reed once he realizes what's coming his way. And all four men are laid out. It's either team's ball game now. It's a matter of who's going to take control. Who's got this one in the bag? And it's Breaker who's up. Breaker looking to take his shot. Who can keep down Breaker? Because that spear through the barricade certainly didn't. What's it going to take? It's now slim pickings, easy pickings. Breaker looks like he has the same energy as he did when he walked out to the ring the first time. Breaker ready to shred and send Jay to bed. But Roman Reigns takes the bullet. And here's going to save just in time. Reed is down. Jay is going to climb. And an Uso splash. Is it enough? And it's all over. Jay and Roman are victorious. Roman Reigns, you see Roman Reigns angrily looking at Paul Heyman up at the stage, who is pissed at the way this match turned out. It seemed that it was Breaker and Reed who had it all won. But there's one thing you can't beat. You can't beat heart. And that's what Jey Uso had. Jey Uso spent the majority of this time in the match for his team with Roman. But Roman Reigns, who played a big part, he saved the day. This new Roman Reigns has put himself in harm's way, not once, but twice, for Jay, to make sure this match went their way. Let's get another look at this. Roman Reigns came to save the day. And Jay would connect with a spear by any means necessary. An Uso splash. Fly high through the sky. For the 1, 2, 3. What a way to kick off SummerSlam. Here at MetLife Stadium. And now Jay bestows that Ula Fala on his OTC. What is next for Roman? What's next for Jay? You also got to think that Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed aren't done either. That this has only just begun. And Roman Reigns got to finally stick it to Paul Heyman after betraying him at WrestleMania. All right. And it's all about the tag team titles. And Raquel Rodriguez can say that she has held the women's tag team titles more than any other superstar. And here we go. The bell has rung. This match is officially underway. This has been a very unique pairing between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. We've seen many unique pairings over the years, but this has to be on the more unique side. They are so different, total polar opposites. We're going to see who's got more chemistry, which team is more in unison. And Alexa Bliss able to make the tag to Charlotte as Charlotte takes down Roxanne and then knocks Raquel off the apron. And Charlotte backing Roxanne into the corner. Liv Morgan is out with an injury. Roxanne being in the Judgment Day as well, filling in for Liv Morgan. And Roxanne just hammering away on Charlotte. And Raquel now in this match. Roxanne, who's bringing the fight to Charlotte right now. Pretty impressive first year on the main roster, to say the least, for Roxanne. Right off the bat with some gold, being the tag team champions alongside Raquel. When the opportunity is there, take it. There aren't too many opportunities like the one that was just handed to Roxanne under unfortunate circumstances, that being Liv Morgan's injury. Meanwhile, we're seeing great teamwork from Raquel and Roxanne as they are doing their best to keep Charlotte isolated from Alexa Bliss. Charlotte Flair, 13-time women's champion, has won the women's championship more than any other superstar in this company. I mean, it's a record amount, following in her father's footsteps for a record he once held on the men's side of things for having the most world championships. Of course, that was broken by John Cena earlier this year at WrestleMania, who will face the American Nightmare tomorrow night as he defends the WWE Championship. But right now, this is about the tag team titles, as Charlotte tried to make the tag to Alexa, but Roxanne blocked it, and now the tag has been made. Alexa Bliss, a former 5-time world champion. And Alexa Bliss going ballistic. What a knee to the face. And a drop kick takes down Roxanne. Bliss with a flip. But it's Raquel who saves the day. But Raquel knocks Charlotte off the apron. Oh, what a massive clothesline. And it's Raquel who drives Bliss into the corner. Raquel uses her power, catapulting Roxanne. And a big boot side Russian leg sweep. Great combination there from Roxanne and Raquel. Almost seamless how well they're working together. Roxanne has truly shown to be a great fit, a great addition to the Judgment Day. You gotta wonder what this does for Charlotte and Alexa Bliss if they're unable to capture the tag team titles. You gotta wonder what's next in the mind for Charlotte Flair. She won the Rumble earlier this year, couldn't capture the WWE title at WrestleMania against Tiffany Stratton. I mean, it was all there. It was all written for her. But Tiffany Stratton proven to be that much better. And Bliss taking out Perez. Is it the opening opportunity that she needs? And the tag has been made. Charlotte Flair heading up to the sky. And a nice crossbody takes out Roxanne and Raquel. And Charlotte coming in hot. Boom! In style. Who would have thought? For all the differences that people have felt about Charlotte, Charlotte heading up high. And the moonsault connects on Roxanne and Raquel to take home the titles. But Raquel able to get the shoulder up it too. And Charlotte could be closing in as she connects with the figure four. But Roxanne Perez breaks it. And once again, where are we at here? Where does this go now? And Roxanne, since the beginning, what got her into the Judgment Day? It was almost like she forced herself in by doing everything she could to help out the Judgment Day. At first, it didn't work, but since then it has played out. Uh-oh, that's not gonna end well. Alexa, who was going after Raquel got out of the way. It's as clear as day it was an accident, but I don't know if Charlotte's gonna see it that way. An inconvenience. Tahana bomb coming in hot. And Roxanne pop rocks. But Alexa Bliss doesn't let it happen. And a moment of bliss here at SummerSlam as she saves the day and gets out of harm's way. Raquel hits hard into the ring post. Charlotte trying to get up, and the tag's been made. Flair is clueless. Wait, roll up. Oh, but Alexa Bliss able to kick out. And a kick to the midsection. What a right. And the Prodigy and Charlotte goes after Raquel. Sister Abigail. We got new tag team champions. I'm surprised because this new version of Charlotte Flair is just different. The old version would have taken her revenge on Alexa Bliss for this misunderstanding. After Roxanne had pulled Raquel out of the way, Alexa Bliss accidentally laid out Charlotte Flair, pop rocks after the Tahana bomb. This surely would have won it all had Alexa Bliss not been there to save the day. And then when it seemed like Charlotte was going to get mad and take it out on Bliss for the accidental hit, Charlotte Flair realized that it was an accident, kicking Raquel, allowing Alexa Bliss to follow through with the with Sister Abigail to take it all home. Sometimes you gotta set your emotions and the time behind for some gold. And here we are. It's SummerSlam. And the hate continues with new women's tag team champions as Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair stand tall at the biggest party of the summer. I think a libation or two might be in there somewhere for the celebration. And SummerSlam is brought to you by Cricket 5G. Weapons only in theaters and in IMAX. Coming soon to a theater near you. The SummerSlam post show will take place immediately following the main event here on Peacock and on WWE social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X, rather, should I say, the official theme of SummerSlam. Let's give a huge shout out and thank you to Cardi B for Outside. Karrion Kross has just had it out for Sami Zayn. There's something about Karrion Kross in the way he tries to leech off of the good in this world and tries to pull out someone's inner darkness. Everyone has their demons, and Karrion Kross does everything he can to find them. As if there isn't enough evil in this world, Karrion Kross tries to add to it by bringing out what he'd call the best, but arguably the worst in people, or the worst out of people, that being. WWE SummerSlam presented by Chase Free Unlimited Wingstop. And you won't have to miss any action because you can get the flavor delivered to your door by the wing experts themselves. Talk about an expert. A man who has mastered the craft of being the ultimate underdog from the underground. Sami Zayn. How likely are we going to hear Sami Zayn say Cross told the truth? I am willing to bet absolutely nothing on it. For whatever reason, Cross is so set out on proving to the world that Sami Zayn isn't this perfect underdog that everybody loves and adores about him. I mean, how could you not love that smile? It's infectious. It's Sami Zayn who has been doing everything he can to fight off the darkness that Karrion Kross is set on bringing out of Sami Zayn. For whatever reason, Kross thinks he's doing the right thing for Sami Zayn by trying to prove that there is darkness, that behind that smile, there is a dark-souled man that is anything but the ultimate underdog from the underground. And Sami Zayn, who has made it crystal clear that he is set on becoming a world champion. And I would say he's willing to do whatever it takes, but that's why we're here. Karrion Kross believing and getting in the head of Sami Zayn that he's got to bring out this mean streak, that he's got to be this dark, bad guy. Embrace the darkness, get rid of the light. But sometimes the lines can be blurred, and do everything for the right reasons. But never lose who you are. That's one thing that Sami Zayn hasn't done. And Sami Zayn, all he wants to do is just move on from Kross. He already has a victory over him. Let's go back to Crown Jewel. But Kross is still insistent on putting away Sami Zayn as he went for the cover right there. But Zayn able to get the shoulder up at 2. Kross is a heavy hitter. This is not somebody you want to go in hand-to-hand combat inside the ring with. Sami Zayn fighting back. And a huge clothesline and a back elbow. Picking up the momentum as Karrion Kross. Both of these men have taken very similar paths. World-traveled athletes have spent time on the independent scene before making their way here to the WWE. And when you're here at the top, you got to keep your head on a swivel. you've got to have an almost killer-like instinct. And Sammy, who's a former 4-time Intercontinental Champion. And I mentioned that these two have similar paths. Both of them started out here in NXT. That being in the WWE as part of the NXT roster before making their way up. Both of them former NXT champions on numerous occasions. Quite the choice words there from Karrion Kross to Sami Zayn as he starts to just driving these blows as Sami Zayn. He's trying to make Sami say those words. He wants Sami Zayn to embrace the inner darkness. It's kind of ironic. Way to bring out the darkness when it should be a celebration. It's supposed to be the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam. And Kross wants to make it all so gloomy. Sammy back, lands on his feet with that inverted leapfrog. And Sammy, who's starting to move to the beat of his drum. Oh, try to pick up for the Blue Thunder Bomb. Meanwhile, Kross. And that Doomsday Saito suplex. That is devastating. And goes for the cover. But Sami Zayn stays alive. Kross, who thought he had it there. That Doomsday Saito has beaten and battered some of the biggest stars in this industry. Here's the pipe. Look at him lay down the pipe on Sami Zayn. And Scarlett distracting the ref. And the pipe has been dropped. And a Blue Thunder Bomb. A pipe to bomb. With the referee not facing and being distracted, Sami Zayn was able to counter Kross's attempt at stealing this one. But it did not work out in his favor. Now it's Sami Zayn who hammers away on Kross. The aggression in Sami Zayn brings out the fury. Sami Zayn perhaps playing into exactly what Kross has wanted, as Sami Zayn not stopping and going back every time the official pulls back Zayn as Kross leans up against that bottom rope. The official trying to knock some sense into Sami. And how interesting is this? And it's Scarlett who's offering Sami the pipe. It's all about the mind games. Is Sami gonna join the dark side? And the fact that Sami Zayn is even considering us shows that there may be some darkness. But he says no. And an emphatic throw to the outside. And from behind, capitalizing on a roll-up. Uh-oh. An exploder suplex. On a rough landing, the back of the head. And setting up for a haluva kick. And there it is. It connects. That's it. And it's all over. Once again, Sami is victorious. Can Sami Zayn say he is finally done with Karrion Kross? Every person always has a devil and an angel. One that tries to sway you to one side, one that tries to sway you to the other. But tonight, it was the angel that sings high praises as Sami Zayn chooses to stay on the light and makes sure that Scarlett knew his answer was no as he threw the pipe to the outside, refusing to do the wrong. And one haluva kick later, following an exploder suplex, and it was all she wrote to take down Karrion Kross. Sami Zayn will leave SummerSlam victorious. And he says, we're done. I think the message has finally been sent to Karrion Kross. A larger-than-life superstar being the late Hulk Hogan, who is the reason we're all where we're at today. The reason that pro wrestling, sports entertainment is talked about the way that it is. Hulk Hogan impacted the lives of millions around the world. There are way too many Hulk Hogan moments. Hulkamania ran wild for a very long time, and it will live on forever. And joining us tonight is the son of the late great Hulk Hogan. Nick Hogan is here at SummerSlam. His father dominated at the biggest party of the summer. And Hulkamaniacs are running wild here at MetLife Stadium. All right, and we are back live. It is SummerSlam. It's the biggest party of the summer, and still a night that is filled with so much left. Triple A made their way to SmackDown as Psycho Clown and Mr. Iguana were the mystery opponents for Los Garza, the Triple A Tag Team Champions. And you can visit the SummerSlam Superstore, open now through Sunday. You can't find this exclusive merchandise anywhere else. Get it all now. What a night it's been. New Jersey has truly shown up, has shown out. Look at the beautiful sunset we have. It's after 8 o'clock. Huh. And an Xfinity seat upgrade. Congratulations. And bringing fans closer to the action, because this is action you won't want to miss. Check the weather. I think, although we've got clear skies, a storm is coming because Jade Cargill looks to take down and end Tiffy time to become the new WWE Women's Champion. First, she reigns supreme as the Queen of the Ring, and now the crown looks to turn into titles. Welcome back. This is the 2025 Queen of the Ring. When she won the Queen of the Ring, much like last year, the same rules being that whoever wins gets to challenge for the World Championship. Much like Randy Orton was the King of the Ring last year, would go on to challenge Gunther. And tonight, Jade Cargill, who made it through the finals and thrived. We saw Nia Jax do it last year for the women's side of things. This WWE Women's title match is brought to you by Seagram's Escapes. Spiked. The WWE has been spiked by Seagram's Escapes. Each with 10% ABV. Drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. This is a huge moment for Jade Cargill. The first SummerSlam for Tiffany Stratton, and she enters as the WWE Women's Champion. It's crazy how everything can change in just a few years. And now she is at 211 days as champion. Her record 13-0 in 2025. This is her 7th title defense. At the Showcase of Immortals, she defeated Charlotte Flair. Tonight, she looks to weather the storm. Will Tiffy time be the light at the end of the tunnel? These two women have had an insane 365 days. And now, let's go to the great Alicia Taylor. And there it is. The referee holding up that WWE Women's Championship. That's what this match is all about. You got to look at it this way. If you're Tiffany Stratton, your best strategy heading into this match, keep the momentum going, but be prepared for anything. Jade Cargill is just a different kind of opponent. But like anybody, they have their weaknesses. And Tiffany Stratton, her best strategy is to expose those weaknesses of Jade Cargill. Meanwhile, Jade Cargill gets a nice pump kick and a nice kick out by Tiffany Stratton. Stratton, who has had all the momentum behind her since winning the WWE Women's Championship. When she caught Nia Jax off guard, cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase that she won last year at the Money in the Bank Premium Live event. However, this year, Tiffany Stratton was able to not be the victim of this year's Miss Money in the Bank winner. The winner being Naomi, who had quite the issues with Jade Cargill. In fact, it was Naomi who was the one that laid out Jade Cargill, leaving Cargill out of action for almost a year before we'd see Cargill return at the Elimination Chamber and expose who it truly was. And it's tomorrow that Naomi will defend her Women's World Championship. But tonight, it's all about the WWE Women's Championship. And it's about Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill is a former 2-time Women's Tag Team Champion, but has not been at the top yet. She has not been the Women's Champion. And a beautiful swanton that caught full on. But it shows you just how tough that Jade Cargill is able to kick out. And that gymnastics background of Tiffany Stratton being shown a little bit there. You get to see that from Tiffany Stratton in her in-ring style occasionally, that she will show off her agility and her athleticism. Oh, what a shot. And Jade, look at this rack position that she has Tiffany Stratton in. It could spell disaster for the champion. And the rack bomb. And hell the storm. And she got caught in the eye of the storm of Jade Cargill, the last place you want to be. As Tiffany Stratton struggled to take cover. And Cargill gets that elbow full on. And gets the boots up as Stratton. Went for another pump kick. And now it's Stratton who's starting to show her power with a rolling senton. And springs up. Perhaps thinking the prettiest moonsault ever. But it was the queen of the ring making sure it didn't happen. Cargill gets a suplex and rolls it through. But it's Stratton who breaks free and turns it into a Falcon's arrow. And a beautiful counter by the champion. But the thing is, both women are down. And now it's an opportunity for one of these two women to get back up to their feet. And whoever gets up first has the opportunity to take control and control the pace of this matchup. 53,161 in attendance for night one of the biggest party of the summer. It's the first ever time that is a 2-night special for SummerSlam. Much like WrestleMania, it's just too big of an event to only take place on one night. Tiffany showing that her strategy is proving to work. Stay on pace, stay on task, expose your opponent's weaknesses. And it's about to be Glamour with an Alabama Slam. And prettiest moonsault ever, but the boots are up. And the long legs land under the jaw. And as the champ for Jaded. But the legs were rolled too far back. And Tiffany was rolled and her leg hit the bottom rope. A rope break. Just an unfortunate event there. Just an unfortunate placement there. Let's get another look at that. The boots were up. Able to execute this Jaded perfectly. Like, I mean, picture perfect. But the landing and the way that Tiffany Stratton was laid out, her boot was able to make it to the bottom rope. Look at this. Stratton rolls through. Nice pinning combo. Able to counter. Tiffany looks a bit distorted as Cargill lands a choke slam. Tiffany can hardly stand. The end could be near. The storm could blow over. And it could take the championship with her too. An avalanche Jaded could be coming for Tiffany Stratton. Tiffy time could be running out. This is not where you want to be. And a counter. And Cargill gets caught. And prettiest moonsault ever. And Tiffany Stratton keeps the clock going as Tiffy time still running strong. What a match. Jade had the opportunity of a lifetime. Had a great showing here at SummerSlam. But Tiffany Stratton has been on a roll. And once again, successfully defends the Women's Championship. The Avalanche Jaded. There was that little slip up there that may have been exactly that split second that Tiffany Stratton needed to counter and then to connect with the prettiest moonsault ever that would lead her to victory to retain the WWE Women's Championship. And over 200 days, this young woman will see day number 212. You gotta wonder what is next for Tiffany Stratton. All right. Welcome back. It's SummerSlam. Logan Paul only a few years ago. It's only been a few years since Logan Paul's had his first singles match here in the WWE. Isn't that crazy? It's just so crazy how everything can change. Logan Paul, who's already been in it for a few years now. Logan Paul has surpassed just being that guy that's a celebrity appearance. Being one of the first ever major celebrities to truly sign a contract and make this a serious gig. And now how ironic it is that Logan Paul calling Jelly Roll an outsider, and you see the outsider section with the signs that they call Logan Paul an outsider. Logan Paul not too pleased by it whatsoever. And this team between Drew and Logan, it makes so much sense. Logan, social media megastar. Drew McIntyre, who literally makes social media posts much like Logan Paul during the match. Except the thing is, Drew McIntyre does it himself. Drew McIntyre spends quite a bit of time on the old Twitter machine, as they say, on X. And Drew McIntyre, who had an issue with getting back into the U.S., almost missed this match, actually. But made sure and did everything he could to get back into the U.S. after being stuck in England so that he could get his hands on Jelly Roll, who he sees as nothing more than a joke. His tag team match is sponsored by Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah. Snap into a Slim Jim. McIntyre and Logan Paul, they've got to have something. Their team name needs to have something to do with like social media, I feel like. Team X? Rapper, singer, songwriter, the man himself, Jelly Roll, has arrived. Won New Artist of the Year back in 2023. You can do anything you set your mind to. And now he looks to conquer the world of professional wrestling. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll are, in fact, set for tag team action here tonight. Bunny XO here to support her husband, Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll, a man who's been training, who's put his time in to get in shape for this moment. And early tonight, we found out that he is officially under 300 pounds, weighing in today at 299 pounds. At still under 300. Absolutely an incredible transformation for the multi-time platinum recording artist. And who better to have as a partner than the former 14-time world champion, Randy Orton, a man who has done it all in this business. Randy Orton is one of the most dangerous people in this industry. I mean, you don't get the monikers Legend Killer, Apex Predator, and Viper and be as sweet as ice cream. And while training, it was revealed by Jelly Roll that he actually broke his finger and let the world know this is no joke. All the haters, he let them know that I'm taking this seriously. And then he pushed through. You know, there was some little issues as getting hurt in training, but did everything he could to make sure he was in the right shape. Because your cardio needs to be at its very best. And Randy Orton once again steps inside the ring for another SummerSlam. Randy Orton time and time again has shown out at the biggest party of the summer. And the official Ryan Tran gonna call this one. But Logan Paul played it cheap, getting a cheap shot on the son of a sinner himself, Jelly Roll. And this match, I don't even think has officially gotten started yet. And it seems that Logan Paul is going to be starting this match. Randy Orton telling Jelly Roll, hey, I'm going to start this match. Jelly Roll, who needs to get his emotions in check, because I would be frustrated. I don't know how wise that was. Jelly Roll tags himself in. He wants this. He wants to get his hands on Logan Paul. How ironic is it? I never thought in a million years that Randy Orton would try to be the voice of reason. From a man who's always heard voices in his head to being the voice of reason. Oh, man. Time truly makes the world weirder and weirder. And Logan Paul going right after Jelly Roll with these hammering blows to the back. Say what you want about it. And say what you want to say about Logan Paul. He has shown just how incredible, just how much work he's put in to be a top star here in the WWE. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few years he once again wins another championship. Perhaps it's the world title, maybe the WWE championship. Logan Paul's already conquered as the United States championship. Meanwhile, talk about getting conquered. Jelly Roll gets a scoop slam and takes out Logan Paul. And a nice elbow drop to the Maverick as he goes for the cover. And Logan Paul kicking at it too. Paul seems a bit stunned that there's already a few moves in the arsenal of Jelly Roll being shown out on display here in this matchup. But now with McIntyre tagged in, as much as I want to give Jelly Roll credit and respect, and I have the utmost respect for Jelly Roll and what he's been able to accomplish. Any man who is able to turn their life around the way Jelly Roll has and get in the best shape of their lives, I think it's wise to tag in Randy Orton at this point. Drew McIntyre is one of the most dangerous men in WWE. A man that actually has multiple victories over Randy Orton. And now slapping Jelly Roll in the back of the head. But he's just playing mind games. Jelly Roll is being toyed with. Jelly Roll, you cannot let your ego get the best of you. Just because you want to get your hands on Drew McIntyre right this second does not mean you should. Tag in Randy Orton. Make the wise decision. Randy Orton is more capable of handling a guy like Drew McIntyre. And Randy Orton tried to psych up Jelly Roll, but now you realize once you actually get in the face of McIntyre, it's not quite what you expect. The smack of disrespect only infuriated the Scottish Warrior. And here comes these left jabs. Jabbing and jiving. Only gets knocked down by McIntyre. Jelly Roll, who desperately needs Randy Orton at this point. And McIntyre talking smack to Randy Orton. Oh, and a thunderous chop. And another chop to the chest of Jelly Roll. And it's McIntyre who is enjoying this, breaking down Jelly Roll piece by piece as he stomps onto the hand. Let's not forget, Jelly Roll did say he broke a finger while he was training, broke his pinky. So going after his hand is very wise. However, I will say it wasn't 100% clear which pinky, but perhaps Drew McIntyre may have found the inside scoop on that one. Meanwhile, Drew and Logan just work together to get a double suplex to take down Jelly Roll. And now it's Logan Paul, the legal man, who's going to really bring the fight here to Jelly Roll. And Logan Paul just feeding off of the negative energy that the crowd is expressing towards him. That's pretty much been Logan's entire career, is just embracing the negativity. And Logan Paul with that split-legged leg drop into a cocky cover that didn't get all of the three. Surprisingly, Jelly Roll is still showing signs of life after being battered and beaten by McIntyre. And now Paul, who's hammering away. It's that boxing background of Logan Paul. Logan Paul also has an amateur background. Logan Paul grew up a fan of this sport. So say what you want to say. Logan Paul knew what he was getting into. And when he was coming into the WWE, also entering in at an incredibly great shape, Logan Paul has the frame in which he's built for this sport. Not too many of these celebrities that come in are built for this. Jelly Roll, a man who had to get prepared. And you can hear the WWE Universe. Over 51,000 want Randy Orton in this match, but McIntyre catches Orton off guard, knocking him off the apron. And Jelly Roll is all alone with no one to tag. And McIntyre gets sent over the top to the outside onto the floor. But now has no one to tag. But now Randy Orton is able to make it back up to his feet. Can Jelly Roll get there? It's the time. Scratching and crawling. He's so close, inches away, and the tag has been made to WWE's Apex Predator. And Logan Paul gets knocked off the apron. McIntyre laid out. And Randy Orton with that snap power slam. And he's picking it up. Oh. This is vintage Randy Orton. And that draping DDT over the middle rope takes out McIntyre. Randy Orton has McIntyre measured as the Viper is coiled. But Logan Paul is a team player and pulls McIntyre out of the ring, who is in absolute deep trouble. And a boot to the midsection to Logan Paul as he gets launched in the barricade. Drew McIntyre. Uh-oh. This isn't good for McIntyre. Spine connects with the Spanish announce table. Logan Paul now is about to suffer the same fate as his tag team partner. And a Claymore takes out Randy Orton. Talk about an explosive shot. The Viper may have been defanged. But now it's Jelly Roll who's trying to hype up Randy Orton. And Jelly Roll, who checked on Randy Orton, gets attacked from behind by Logan Paul. Things are not faring well for Jelly Roll right now. And the titanium loaded fist. Laying out Jelly Roll. It's night-night. Out like a light goes Jelly Roll. And McIntyre, who's back in the ring. And breaking the ref's count. Logan Paul. Has shades, has a prime. Is primed and loaded. And McIntyre laying Jelly Roll up. And a prime. And a prime. Talk about a prime time moment here at SummerSlam. 2 bottles of prime. Double fisted. And ready to fly. Soars for prime. And a crash and burn. With a frog splash. Laying out Jelly Roll through the announce desk. And a massive moment here at the biggest party of the summer. This is what you get. Jelly Roll asked for this match. You ask and you shall receive. Unfortunately, he is finding out the hard way that when it comes to such a big event like SummerSlam, this job is no easy job. And a serious situation right now for Jelly Roll, who is struggling. This is not for the weak, not for the faint-hearted whatsoever. If you're Jelly Roll, you probably never want to step foot in a WWE ring again. But here's the real action. The legal men in this match. And I hate to say the real action because that was as real as it gets. But this is where the legal action, these 2 men who are the legal competitors in this match, is McIntyre. It's going to do a little bit of showboating. But how wise is that? Especially when one of your opponents is Randy Orton. And that's the other legal man in the ring with you. And Drew McIntyre going after Randy Orton, who is worse for wear. It's now become a 2-on-1. Jelly Roll is hardly with it. And now it's only a matter of time before this is over. You had to know this had every chance of going this way. This is not looking good for the Apex Predator whatsoever. Jelly Roll, who's been at ringside, who's had his thoughts, speaking his mind. He wanted nothing more than to have his SummerSlam moment. Well, I'll tell you what, he was certainly on the receiving end of a SummerSlam moment as he is being helped to the back by WWE officials. And Logan Paul mocking Jelly Roll, who's being carried out. But I will say he's walking. He's at least not being stretchered out. And now a blockbuster by Logan Paul lays out Randy Orton. And it's only a matter of time, unless Randy Orton's able to overcome the odds. Logan Paul laughing, the mockery at Jelly Roll. And now tagging in Drew McIntyre. And a man who once upon a time carried the WWE through the pandemic era. A time that just felt so unreal. But his biggest challenge in 2020 was Randy Orton. And now here we are, 5 years later. SummerSlam. Randy Orton superplex. Just like his father, connecting with a superplex. And of course, his father being the legendary Hall of Famer Cowboy Bob Orton. Jelly Roll looking back at the ring. Is he not done? How wise is this one? He doesn't want to stay down. How is he even on his own 2 feet? Jelly Roll somehow fighting through the pain, the exhaustion, the sweat dripping down his face. When it hurts. When it hurts coming down. When you crash. When you burn. You get back up. You continue to find ways to stick with it. When it hurts crashing down. And it hurts inside. You just gotta be a man. Because Jelly Roll is bringing out the fight that is inside of him. With a choke slam, laying out Logan Paul. And the black roll slam. Rolling through. Jelly's jamming here at SummerSlam. Son of a sinner is smacking it at SummerSlam. And it's Jelly's time to slam. Time to slime, time to shine. Slinging it through. But McIntyre breaks things up. And the Claymore lays out Jelly Roll. Put an RKO. But Paul sends Orton into the ring post. There's all kinds of chaos going on. Logan Paul with the frog splash. And it's for the win. Logan Paul lays out Jelly Roll. Unfortunately for Jelly Roll, the fairy tale ending is nowhere in sight. But for Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre, they get their moment here at SummerSlam. The Maverick and the Scottish Warrior stand tall. The social media keyboard warriors are more than just warriors on X and social media. They take it to the ring. They brought the action. They brought the fight to Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll, who showed heart. He showed up. He showed out. But it just wasn't enough. Heart, as much as you want a fairy tale ending, that good feeling, it just always isn't the case. He had his comeback moment. He thought it was it. A jelly to belly, if you will. And this is where the beginning of the end was. An RKO. Logan Paul caught Randy Orton where he wanted him, sending him into the ring post. And then Logan Paul, textbook, grade, frog splash, ending Jelly Roll's SummerSlam moment. I will say this, Jelly Roll has nothing whatsoever to feel ashamed of. He put up one heck of a fight. And here we go. It's main event time. "12 years it's been since CM Punk has won a world championship here in the WWE. 2013. Can CM Punk do it here tonight? I mean, it's been over a decade since CM Punk's won any championship here in the WWE. CM Punk, when he returned a couple of years ago, he said, I am here. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. And what that means is you get the winner's purse. Punk is looking to be the world champion. And realizing that his championship window is closing, that time does not wait for anybody. Father Time waits for no man. Realizing that it's now or it's never. And SummerSlam has favored Punk in the past. Will it play to his song? Will it play to his tunes here tonight at SummerSlam in MetLife Stadium? One of the craziest stats is held by this man. 80% of his time here in the WWE has been as a champion. Between NXT UK champion, Intercontinental champion, and a world champion. Those are the only 3 titles he's held. 3 title reigns have taken up 80% of his time here in WWE. Well, that being the now defunct NXT UK championship. But having beaten some of the very best that this business has to offer, last year was Gunther's moment where he defeated Randy Orton. This year, he looks to put away CM Punk to add to that list. The list that keeps on giving. Our main event, ironically, is sponsored by The General Insurance. Gives you a break when you need it the most. And I'll tell you what, speaking of generals, the Ring General certainly won't give any break for CM Punk, except perhaps breaking a few bones. And Rod Zapata holding up that world championship. You saw the official Rod Zapata hold up that world heavyweight championship. That's what this match is all about. CM Punk, who said it. He said that I need this world championship like I need to breathe. Punk mentioning the window's closing. It's either now or never. He said, with my dying breath, I will be a world champion again. But the problem is, he's got a massive roadblock in his way. And that's the man who's actually holding the championship, the Ring General Gunther. They don't call him a Ring General for no reason. The big question is, what does Punk have to do to out-wrestle Gunther? As technically sound as Punk is in the ring, Gunther may just be a level above CM Punk. And Gunther still has a few more years, more than CM Punk, left in the tank. But will the veteran instincts that Punk has more years of experience over Gunther play into favor? And this is what dreams are made of. High stakes matchups. Punk, since returning, has only had a few losses. But there's something that's very scary about Gunther. As amazing as he is, it only makes him just that much better. He never stops learning, never stops evolving. He's on a day-by-day basis. The Ring General always pulls out something different. Gunther and Punk trying to counter each other. Gunther perhaps looking for that sleeper to put Punk away early, but Punk able to counter. And a snapmare takedown. Gunther gets countered. The thing is, you're seeing that these two all know the tricks in the book. The back and forth and back and forth. It's counter for counter. And now it's Punk. That hammerlock is going to play into effect on the shoulder of Gunther. If he fully gets it to where he wants it, It wrenches back on the shoulder. You feel it. It's just horrible. And Gunther trying to shake some feeling back in the hand. And now they're testing each other's strength, trying to out-wrestle the other. Both of these men know how well the other is in the ring. But is Gunther going to put Punk away here? Punk bridging, keeping his shoulders off the mat. And now Gunther looks to put all of his weight. But look at the core strength of Punk. Gunther didn't get all of that first kick, but he got the second one. And a nice uppercut from the champion. Gunther, perhaps for the first time, truly finding somebody that is just as technically sound as he is inside the ring. Punk, a superstar who broke what it meant to be a traditional superstar. Punk didn't fit that mold of a Hulk Hogan, of a Rock, a John Cena. Punk did not fit that mold and had to make his own way. Meanwhile, Punk, who could only avoid it for so long, sometimes the inevitable, always rather, the inevitable means the inevitable. And a thunderous chop shocks the chest of the challenger. Gunther, his momentum gets scoured there temporarily by Punk, who starts to get these kicks. Punk rolls Gunther over as Punk now going to continue the work on the arm. Since the get-go of this match, Punk has been working on the left arm. And this is a brilliant strategy because losing strength in your arm loses the grip of the sleeper hold that Gunther likes to really use into full effect into 99% of his matches. And Punk has truly used Gunther's game against him. The game that Gunther uses is the game that Punk helped create for this modern era. Let's not forget, it's been less than a month since Gunther defeated one of the all-timers in Goldberg in his retirement match. Goldberg, who had a huge farewell match in his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, at Saturday night's main event. But Gunther made sure it wasn't a fairy tale ending and would retain the world championship. Punk headed up to the top, but Gunther with a chop to the hamstring, catching the challenger off guard, and a chop to the back. They call that a 5-star because of all the 5 fingers that leave a mark. And it's the fun that keeps on giving. The pounding of flesh. Gunther has Punk right where he wants him with a shot to the midsection. And Gunther keeping the game plan on task, keeping it on check. Now that he has Punk turned around right where he wants him. Gunther, who was having a hard time finding his footing in this match, but it seems that he's been able to turn things around. Punk is down. But Punk, who's starting to fight back. Punk gets laid out by another chop. I would say Those chops are fun, but there's nothing fun about a chop. Look at the chest, the way it just... You feel that everywhere. The mental aspect of this game. Gunther and Punk, who both know the psychological factors of big time matches like these, what it means. But your opponent knows the game as well as you do, if not better. But who is that for? Who knows the game better than the other? Is Punk's physical condition, which is as good as it's ever going to be, is it just not enough? Is the fact that Gunther in better shape, is that what's going to be the upper hand for the ring general in this world title matchup here in our main event? And a shot to the midsection again. And going after the midsection, looking for that abdominal stretch. What a shot to the ribs of Punk. And Punk is writhing in pain, screaming for help. Can he get there? Is all hope lost for the Second City Saint? Or is Punk going to enter survival mode? And he counters. Punk able to counter, but Gunther now trying to counter. They're playing a little ring around the rosy. Meanwhile, Punk has Gunther up on his shoulders. Gunther realizes Punk rolls through from the sleeper that Gunther was trying to attempt, and a cover. Gunther kicks out. But a massive boot lays out Punk. And that kick nailed Punk right between the eyes. And Gunther delivering a response for every action from CM Punk. In just a small time frame, Gunther able to turn things around. Things can change so shortly, so effortlessly. That's how smooth these two are in the ring. Smoother than sandpapered tires. And now these two are chopping it up in the most literal sense of the term in the ring. Leapfrog by Gunther. And another big boot catches Punk off guard, but this time Punk using the ropes to hold himself up. And a spring. Massive boot lays out Punk. And Punk is laid out on the ring apron. And Gunther, the champion, is standing tall. Gunther has Punk where he wants him. And a massive boot. Punk almost fell to the floor, but still managed to stay on. Punk doing everything he can to stick with it. The thing about this is, Punk perhaps was Punk at his peak in 2011, 14 years ago. The summer of Punk. When he left Money in the Bank as champion, he would face Cena at SummerSlam. And how crazy the outcome would be when Punk would stand tall at the end of it all. But Punk is hanging in there with Gunther and showing that he has still got it for spending this much time in the game as Punk has. 25 years Punk has been in this business. And Punk still brings the fight. Every single time he steps foot. It seems that a blood vessel may have been popped open by a chop from Punk. Perhaps Gunther finally getting a full taste of his own medicine. Gunther saying who's the kid, as Punk referred to Gunther as a kid. Punk, the veteran of the two. Punk's being told by Gunther he'll never be a world champion. Well, Punk has been world champion. But I don't think that's what Gunther quite meant. Gunther isn't going to let Punk get away from this match as champion. Punk trying to lift Gunther up, but there's just not enough. What a counter by Punk. Punk was looking for that sharpshooter, looking to pay homage to one of his favorites, an idol of his, talking about Bret the Hitman Hart. And a scoop slam by Gunther lays out Punk. Did Punk just use the last bit of energy? And now it's Gunther, who's looking to slap Punk right in the face as he has the sharpshooter locked in the center of the ring. Gunther, center of the ring. Punk has nowhere to go. Punk may be left with no choice but to submit. Can you imagine in this big world title match if Punk had to tap? Punk, who's trying to fight through the pain, trying to drag himself to the bottom rope. Can he do it? And now it's Punk who's able to counter Gunther. But now it's Punk who's got Gunther right where he wants him. And Gunther may tap. Gunther is not immune to submission. We saw it at WrestleMania when Jey Uso made Gunther submit to win the world championship for the first time in his career. Punk looking to win the world championship once again in his career. Punk, of course, a former multi-time world champion. Gunther seemingly rocked by Punk's ability to keep up with him inside the ring. It's been a lot of back and forth. It's been a lot of one moment it's Punk, one moment it's Gunther. Who's got it all? Who's got more left in the tank? Who's got that extra trick up their sleeve to take it all home? And a German suplex lays out Punk, sending him across the ring. Punk's body was like pulsating there for a second. And CM Punk being mocked by Gunther, who says, there's the best in the world right there, as he's laid out. Gunther, who has held himself to the highest of standards, hence the reason that he's held a championship for 80% of his time here in WWE, which, this being the best of the best, I mean, it's an accolade that will probably never be repeated. And now toying with CM Punk. For a man who has talked about being a man like Punk that I'm talking about, the straight edge king, the second city saint. He has been through it all. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't do drugs. But what he has said time and time again, He doesn't need drugs when this sport, when pro wrestling is his drug. It's an addiction that drives him to fight through every day. It's a love. It's a passion. And that's why he's continuing to fight as hard as he has and as he is. Punk and Gunther both trying to get the upper hand, but neither man wanted to go down. But this time it's Punk who gets the drop kick. Gunther gets laid out. And a spinning neck breaker. CM Punk starting to pull out the best hits that could lead to victory. And the running knee in the corner gets caught by Gunther. And a power bomb lays out CM Punk. And Punk kicks at it too. And Punk, who gets put away by Gunther. Gunther, you can see the questioning in the face of Gunther. The look of, this match has gone on quite a bit of time. What's next? Where do I go from here? Perhaps did Gunther underestimate CM Punk? CM Punk doing everything he can to hang on in this match. Punk trying to fight through. Look at this. Triangle, triangle, triangle. Gunther in deep trouble. Let's not forget CM Punk has that MMA background of his. Punk spent a bit of time training in jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts. But Gunther looking to turn Punk over. But Punk still fighting free, and he does. And a massive chop by Gunther. Oh, that was a rough shot. Sleeper countered. Russian leg sweep. And in the most literal sense, Gunther was swept off his feet, but he's back up first. But the exhaustion weighs heavy in these two who have put each other through the ringer. The 5-time world champion CM Punk has truly brought the fight to Gunther to be his toughest challenge to date for the world championship, but Gunther kicks at it too. But the abuse that these two have endured, who's going to take it all in the end? Punk showing the heart. How wise is it this deep into a match? There is no room for failure whatsoever. No room for error. When you go up to the top and you take a risk this deep into a match, with all the exhaustion, with all the pain your body's been through. And that's exactly what can happen. Gunther getting right back up and responding with a thunderous shot to CM Punk. Gunther has Punk, and he drops him. And Gunther heads up high. And Gunther with a splash to retain. But Punk manages to get the shoulder up just before the 3. And Gunther hitting all of it. There was not a bit of that. That was missed. All of that weight of Gunther came crashing down on CM Punk. Yet it still wasn't enough to keep Punk down for the 3. With over 53,000 in attendance, it's one hell of a main event. Gunther, no matter how late it is in a match, always finds a way to talk trash. And a massive clothesline. That's how you get whiplash right there. You know, Punk has always been a man who's been stubborn, and it's gotten himself into trouble everywhere he's kind of been. But right now, that stubbornness to stay down is in his favor. It's that never quit, that never say die attitude. And another clothesline. Punk could be a lariat away from being done for. Is this it? Let's get another look at that. Look at the way the body moves back. CM Punk gets laid out. And a lariat could lay out Punk as Punk tries to lift up Gunther. Does he have it? Oh, but the GTS gets caught. Power bomb. And now Gunther calls for Punk to get up. Gunther waiting for Punk to get up. Punk struggling to pull himself up. I don't know if he knows what's about to hit him. And there's that shotgun drop kick into the corner. And one more will put Punk away. And there it is. That's it. Oh! But Punk kicks at it too. I have no idea how Punk even still has anything left in the tank. Let's get another look at this. The drop kick sending Punk all the way into the corner. Not one, but two power bombs. But Punk somehow mustered up enough willpower to get the shoulders up and kick out. But with each pinfall, it forces exhaustion. It forces Punk to exert energy. Punk is showing the unshaken mindset, what it takes to be a warrior inside the ring. Maybe it takes warrior mentality to defeat a general. Never say die like an Iron Eagle. Never say die for CM Punk. A thunderous chop. Look at the way he's got Punk all caught up with a boot to the jaw. That could have been true disaster for CM Punk. And now dumps Punk to the floor like he's nothing. Showing no remorse for CM Punk whatsoever. And just launching Punk and dumping him into the ring post area. And breaks the count. Surprisingly, I'm surprised that Gunther didn't just take a count out. I guess Gunther didn't want to hear it from Punk that he decided to take the cheap way out, especially knowing that he is fully capable of defeating a man with the stats, with the career that CM Punk has had. If Gunther can get a couple victories over Randy Orton, perhaps Gunther can get this victory over CM Punk. Oh. Gunther should not have made that error. It didn't work out for Drew McIntyre last year at WrestleMania. That was a familiar view. Is CM Punk? Is it CM Punk that finally has the window of opportunity for a chance to take home the gold? Does he even have enough left to even take this opportunity? Punk doing everything he can to try and get back in it, to try and fight for it. Gunther, the world champion, has been busted open. There is a lot of blood. When was the last time you saw Gunther covered in blood? You don't see that too often. I think I might have just seen CM Punk smiling out of the corner of my eye. This is where we're going to learn what kind of champion Gunther truly is. What kind of general. Does he thrive? Does he thrive when the taste of blood arrives? Or does he fall at the call of the red dye? And now, this is new territory. We've never really seen Gunther get busted open like this. And now Punk looks to fly. And the elbow drop connects. It could be good night for Gunther. A GTS could be in Gunther's future. But Gunther blocked. And still somehow able to get the sleeper. Despite the blood burning in the eyes mixed with the sweat. Gunther's got Punk all caught up. This is not where you want to be if you're CM Punk. But CM Punk still finding a way to fight free. Punk has Gunther up. And a GTS. But Gunther is still standing. Staggering. And now calling it one more time. And now Punk's second one. Is it enough? Punk is your brand new World Heavyweight Champion. After a hard-fought battle, CM Punk survives the ring general who could not handle the pressure. The blood was just too much. CM Punk truly showed what it meant to be a warrior in this match. When the defeat was given to Gunther was the moment that Gunther was dropped on the table and his face was busted open. Not one, but two GTSs would crown the king of this as the Second City Saint once again gets to taste gold. And that is becoming a 6-time World Heavyweight Champion. Punk has had the disappointments hit him. But tonight is not about disappointments. Tonight is about victory. Tonight is about gold. Tonight is about championships. And Punk holds it tightly. In a moment he will never forget. These are the moments you never know if you're going to have, especially this late into CM Punk's career. Gunther, who's a bloody mess. What a moment here at SummerSlam. A moment in time. CM Punk has proven that he is back. And he is back in business. And he is the best in the world. The last time CM Punk was at MetLife Stadium, it didn't quite go his way at WrestleMania 29, when he would have one hell of a fight against The Undertaker. CM Punk's night is unfortunately not over. Seth Rollins looking to seize the opportunity somehow on one knee. Seth Rollins is Mr. Money in the Bank, but is he going to do this? Look at Rollins' condition. I think Rollins might be in worse condition than CM Punk. Oh, I don't think it's happening. I was going to say, Rollins knows better that this isn't the right time. When the time is right, Rollins has his shot anytime, anywhere. It's a fake out. It's the fake out of a century. Once upon a time, it was a heist of a century a decade ago. Now it's the fake out. Rollins is going to ruin CM Punk's SummerSlam moment. And CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Punk was looking for a GTS, but Rollins laying out Punk. Punk gets laid out by the briefcase. And again. And Rollins said he would make sure that he would do everything to make sure Punk would never be world champion again. Rollins is here to ruin the night of CM Punk. It's going to end this way. Punk is absolutely defenseless. And there it is. And just like that, Rollins is once again World Heavyweight Champion. What a massive turn of events tonight here at SummerSlam. The fake out of a century. Rollins, it seemed he had a knee injury and was kind of putting Punk on notice, but the mind games were just that much deeper, and Rollins is always one step ahead. There was a reason he was considered an architect. He's a visionary, a revolutionary, and with the wise man by his side, the vision was clear that Rollins was dead set on making Punk's life misery. Although things didn't go fair for Breakker and Reed tonight, Rollins makes sure that this ends the way that they all wanted it to. In MetLife Stadium, Rollins makes sure that the title comes home where Rollins feels it belongs. Once again, Punk thought he found his way to the top, and it didn't last very long. And what a way to close out SummerSlam as Seth Rollins stands tall. For just a little over 5 minutes, CM Punk was able to call himself world champion. But Rollins had other plans. Rollins ruins the parade. And Rollins, once again, plays it all. If you play your cards right, you can end up like Rollins, who is World Heavyweight champion and has absolute power. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. I appreciate all the love and support. It was a fun night. Night 1 is done. We'll be back again for night 2 tomorrow night. Thank you guys for all the love and support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.